We should probably talk about this movie. There's a lot to talk about.
I don't have a lot to say.
Tony, you always have a lot to say.
Yeah, but usually I don't sleep through the whole movie.
Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. Hey, watch him with Dan and Tony. It's like watching, yeah.
Welcome to Hate Watching with Dan and Tony. I'm Dan.
I'm Tony.
On this show, we watch a movie. Each week, one of us, unless one of us is lazy and doesn't do anything, one of us picks a movie, and then we watch the movie, then we talk about the movie. This week, I got to pick the movie. I picked the Netflix movie, which I guess was released a little bit in theaters. Adam Sandler.
It was. I didn't do any research.
A little bit. Called Spaceman, an hour and 48 minutes, 2024. Oh, maybe this was. I was talking to Tony before this, and I think this movie only had like 50 audience reviews.
Oh, that's not very many. I mean, at least the good news of that is it means it didn't upset a lot of people because people weren't, indignant. Like, let's go destroy the movie.
Well, I think it's more that people didn't want to watch the movie and didn't watch the movie.
To be fair, when you said this last week, I had never heard of this movie before in my life.
Oh.
As a Netflix subscriber, not anymore. As an Adam Sandler fan, still to this day, I'd never heard of this movie. I don't know. I feel like I've watched all of his other Netflix movies, and this one just never even saw a trailer. Never heard of it. Never thought about it. Never crossed my path.
I love this movie.
Oh, Dan.
You know why I love this movie?
Because it's boring as fuck.
Because of how much torture it did to you. Every minute I watched this movie, I was like, I could see Tony rolling in pain and hating his life.
My eyes made so many loops, 360s all night, just like, oh my God, this is ridiculous. Oh, I'm so important. Oh, I'm sending a message. Oh, it's a metaphor. Oh my God, I hate this movie, dude.
If you're going to make a movie that's like a metaphor and is a character study and journey, you got to have an idea about what it's interesting because this movie, Spaceman, is based on a book from 2017 called Spaceman in Bohemia. First-time author.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A book that did pretty well and, people cared about. And so I was like, man, I don't want to just read the plot synopsis of the book because, that never really helps you. It's just, It's usually too short and you can't get a 3-page, whatever that's called when when you're really making a movie, you're supposed to do like 3 to 5 pages. That's like, it's called something. I don't know what it's called. Treatment. So I found this lady that talked about the book for 22 minutes.
Wow. Okay.
Perfect amount of talking about it. She talked about the themes, what happened, how interesting a book. This is what she said about the book. Wait, I think I wrote this down.
I'm glad you wrote it down.
First thing she said about it, this book was about a suicide mission.
Really?
Doesn't that change the entire context? If this movie was a suicide mission, wow, now you have a movie.
Yeah, I mean, it would make more sense. I mean, he's gone for a year, and I was like, this lady's being real dramatic for a year.
He's been gone for 6 months. He hasn't even been gone.
No, I mean, the whole trip is a year.
Yes.
And she is so whiny this whole time. I was like, lady, get over it. He's an astronaut guy. Like, it's a year. It's not even that long.
6 months. Your wife, if you were gone for 6 months, she wouldn't even notice for the first 3 months.
3. 6 months would pass and I'd come home and she'd be like, wait, aren't you gone? And I'd be like, that was 6 months ago. And she'd be so sad.
I thought you were in the guest room. I thought you were just having some private time in the guest room.
Weren't you here the whole time? You haven't even left.
Wait, no, you weren't gone.
So, okay, no, that actually makes a lot more sense, first of all.
The reason why he goes to space is to redeem his name.
They kind of mentioned that about his dad did something, and then they were like, and the spider was like, "Oh, you want to redeem yourself?" And then he was like, "Not really." And then we moved on with the movie, never mentioned it again.
She also said there were way too many themes, not in like a
Sure.
negative way, but just
a lot going on.
It took her a lot. She like flow charted out the themes and she sort of showed it. She didn't like cut and paste it so you could see it, but
That's too bad. That would have been a great gimmick.
Yes, and she was just like this movie crosses many genres and has many themes. Okay,
Sure.
cut out the too many. And this movie tries to condense it down into a weird. He can't connect with human beings because his dad, and so he only sees you one time and then he doesn't ever talk to you again.
Right. Yeah.
And then he's got to learn to not do that, even though he doesn't learn to not do that.
I'm going to posit a theory. He doesn't learn anything in this movie. And I will explain to you when we get to the part where he has learned his lesson. I'm going to prove categorically that is false.
And I mean, that's the thing, is if you're adapting a book that has too many themes or many themes, you got to pick one, and you can't
and hit it hard.
You can't change it all.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't seem like this thing is about a guy that can't connect and who saw a spark in someone, his wife, and then didn't really connect, then never got around to connecting with her because of childhood trauma, sort of, trauma, blah blah, and they lost a baby, and then it seemed like he was being really good when they lost the baby, and he was saying all the right things, right?
I mean, I get, but he wasn't there, right? So that's a problem.
He was gone. He was gone there for the other baby, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was gone. Yeah.
So it's like,
and then the spider was like, "Here's a memory of something you were never a part of, but you've thought about the memory, so it makes sense." This is a dumb movie. I didn't like a single minute of this movie, other than it's pretty.
It's a good looking movie. It's shot really well.
Movie. Yeah,
you feel like you're on that spacecraft.
Yeah, which I did not like. I was not a big fan.
You get claustrophobic of the spaceship?
It's not claustrophobic. I'm just like, get me out of here, And I understand that sounds like claustrophobia, but it's not. I don't get claustrophobic. I can be in tiny spaces, but I'm just like, I don't want to be. This isn't fun. I was like, I want to do something, and we didn't do a whole lot. And then there was a lot of spinning, because he's not in gravity, and I get very sick very easily. There was one shot where it's just him like spinning like this for water, 2 minutes.
With water spewing out.
With or alcohol, something. There's alcohol, droplets of something. And I was like, this is too much. I don't need this at all. I'm getting a little nauseous.
It's kind of, that shot was kind of like gratuitous. You're like, oh, sure. I mean, I have to assume they did because they do these things by flying you in a plane, right? And then the plane drops.
Well, so I looked it up. The way that they did this is he was in a harness, and then they added effects and took away the harness, basically. That was, from my understanding, I read, and that was the majority of the practical effects to it.
Whoever did all that part of it, Academy Award.
Super good. Yeah. Too bad it's wasted in such a shit movie,
I was only once or twice when he'd be like sort of sitting there, you'd be like, oh, okay.
This is not floating. Yeah,
they're not doing any floating, but when they did the floating, it was flawless.
And I also want to say Adam did a good job of like gently moving. So he was not never, but for the most part, even when he was like still, there was like a feeling of ethereal. You know what I mean? Like he was just kind of floating. It was really nicely done.
Then there's his accent.
Is there?
Well, I mean, there was at times.
That's true. Every now and then they were like, "Oh, do you remember that you're Czech?" And he's like, "Oh, sorry, yeah. I'll do it.
This will be a Czech take.
This is the one. Use this one."
And I mean, I get it, but he's not a method actor. He's not a theater guy. He's not He's not a disappear into the role kind of guy. I mean, I thought he did a good job of the role.
Yeah, for sure.
But the accent at times would drift in and you'd be like, oh, no.
Does he need to be Czech?
Well, that's the whole thing is, in the book, we set up that this cloud has appeared. There's a space cloud out there that he is going to meet to analyze. And in the book, it's Towards the Sun by Venus, I think. And it's a suicide mission to go. And the Czech Republic does it to sort of, say, hey, we're the Czech Republic, and sort of prove some autonomy to themselves and pride.
Oh,
and
sure.
he goes on it as a suicide mission.
Sure. And but his motivation is to redeem his family name.
Because his dad was a guy who worked with the communists, and he informed on his neighbors and then eventually was killed. And so then, as a kid, Adam Sandler's character, Jakob, grew up with that shame. Okay.
Sure.
What's
interesting.
Set this up. You don't need us to figure it out over 6.5 hours.
100%. It was an interesting moment where he was like, my father was a good man who did terrible things or something. And I was like, it feels like he's already kind of at peace with it. You know what I mean? Because he's like, he's a good man. He did some bad things, but overall he's good. That's like about as healthy as you can look at that situation.
Yep.
So I didn't feel like he was really needed to grow in that area.
Nope.
That was all.
And it didn't seem like those. It didn't seem like those were the wounds. I never figured out what the wounds were.
We don't know the wounds. We also don't really know the motivation, other than like he was in this movie. To me, he's just an astronaut doing astronaut things because it's just a year-long mission, not even that long, and he's gonna come home
and be a hero
and be a national hero. And the wife's like, "Man, you are a piece of shit." I don't know about that.
Okay, let's talk about the movie. We start with a sort of dream sequence, which we continue on much later in the movie, which, of course, by then we'd pretty much forgotten about it. He's in a spacesuit walking down a river.
About it.
Walking down a river.
Oh, right. Yeah. Is this a dream?
Yeah.
Because I guess it has something to do with the opera, the Rusalka.
Yeah, the opera's running. I wrote terrible classical music.
Terrible classical.
I hate classical music.
Are you not an opera fan? You don't like it? Oh, okay.
Thumbs down.
I've been to the opera one time in my life.
Ooh.
We visited D.C. my senior year of high school for like a class trip, and we went and did an opera. And you have to read. I don't know if it's the same now. This was a while ago, but you have to read the subtitles on a little TV screen while they're singing because, they're singing in Italian or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is the worst experience in my life. It's subtitles in live theater. That's like my least favorite thing in the world. So I've had a very anti-opera outlook since then. But musically, I think it's quite beautiful.
There it is. You like it. It's your favorite thing in the world.
I would listen to it. I just don't care what they're saying. So I don't need the story. Just give me some some vibrato and some high tones. I'll be good. I'm good.
There it is. So he has that weird dream. Then we set up. He's on the spacecraft by himself. He's talking to the mission control, and they have him go and
Kuthrapali.
What?
That's Rajesh Kuthrapali, the character from The Big Bang Theory. That's who he talks to through the whole movie.
That's the Big Bang Theory dude?
Yeah, that's the guy from Big Bang Theory. Isn't he great? He's good in this. I was really impressed.
Very, very believable.
As a human being, which is not, Big Bang. So I thought that was great. Good for him.
I mean, like I said, Adam Sandler, if you just skip the accent, he played it great.
100%. Yeah, no. He's, listen, Adam Sandler can act.
He can act.
Know what I mean?
He's a good actor.
He can't choose movies, I guess, but he can act.
I mean, this movie, it seems like it could work, but it becomes so drony and draggy and doesn't make a real point. It's like you got to make a...
Don't tell them that, because I believe that they think they're making some great points.
Oh, yeah.
I think this is one of the most self-indulgent movies we've watched together.
Oh yeah. Oh God, yes. They are.
Yeah.
They are in love with their words and they're in love with their choices, and
What do
they
you call
think
it?
it.
Self-fillating? Is that
Did
how
he
you
say self-fillating?
That's what I say.
Self-fellatio? Okay, so he talks to he talks back to Earth. There's the president of Czechoslovakia, played by what's her name, Isabella
Rossellini
Rossellini.
from Friends fame.
Don't think so.
You don't remember that episode of Friends? Let me break this down to you because this is way better than the movie that we're talking about.
No, we're not.
So there's
talking
an
about
episode where they're making their celebrity lists, 5 people that you're allowed to sleep with if you ever meet them. And he was gonna put Isabella Rossellini on his list. Ross was, and then someone talks him out of it. And then he meets her at the coffee shop, and she's like, "Well, let me see the list." And then she's not on the list. It's a great scene, man. You should watch Friends more.
No, never. I think I watched like the first and maybe second season, and then it was.
Oh, you don't like Friends?
It was okay. I mean, it's fine.
It's the best show ever made.
I sat down and I watched the first 12 minutes, 13 minutes of Nathan Lane's new show.
Oh yeah, Mid-Century Modern.
Because you talked about it, and
because he's great.
You watch it and you're just like, he can get everything out of every line. Every line you give him, he's like, I'm getting 100%, 100%. The other guy was good. The young guy was, he's bad.
Oh my, yeah, Matt Bomer, the handsome one.
Who is that guy?
So he's from a USA show in the vein of Psych. It's called Suits.
Oh,
nope,
he's
not Suits. Sorry, not Suits. White Collar. My mistake, everybody. He was in a show called White Collar, and I don't like that show very much. And he's not great in that show. And then when he was in this show, I was like, maybe this is his avenue. Because he's like this really great guy. Everyone in Hollywood's like, he's the nicest guy in the world. Sure. Everybody loves him that works with him. And I'm rooting for him so badly. And then we watch the show. He's bad. He's not even like in that realm where it's like, I mean, he's fine. He's bad.
He's bad.
He can't land a line. He's got no comic timing. He's pretty, sure.
Yeah.
But woof, dude. It's brutal.
It's rough. It's very rough.
Yeah.
Oh, well. Yeah, because the other guy.
Nathan Lane's unbelievable.
Nathan Lane, unbelievable. Other dude, good. Matt Bomer is just like Matt.
He's so
Bummer.
bad. But Nathan Lane was worth me watching all 10 episodes. He is a treasure.
Yeah. But yeah, they got to here's where we're going to embarrass the lead part of the show. And then I was like,
sure. Oh, that's right. You hate that.
Don't need to do that. Okay. So he's out there. He's been going for 189 days. Here's the big cloud. He's going to get the thing. We set up the time in 1 week. He's going to be there. So we got 1 week to run the movie. Perfect. And this little girl's all like, he talks to him and says, "You're the loneliest man in the world." Well, he's not in the world; he's off the world. But whatever.
That would have been a funny retort. That's what Adam should have said.
That's what the lady talking about the book also said. She's like, "It's comedic at times." Wasn't this movie?
No, the book.
Yeah,
there's some comedy in there, and then we decided to make a movie with Adam Sandler and remove all semblance of comedy.
Yeah.
Well, that's a choice, huh? Oh boy!
Because that's what the movie's about. Is you're the loneliest man in the world, and he's like, "No, I'm not." Subtext: I am completely the loneliest man in the world.
You're so right, little girl. You see me.
And okay, well, if that's your premise, he's the loneliest man in the world. We have to really see that in his relationship with his wife, right?
Or the spider, or at all. He doesn't seem. I don't know.
He just seems kind of morose, right? He doesn't.
Yeah. He's just kind of like, I'm so bored. I'm so bummed. I don't want to do this anymore. He doesn't feel like where I need some sort of human connection. He should be trying to talk to Koothrappali more, trying to build a relationship. And Koothrappali's just doing his job. And he's like, I got to go, man. I have a job to do. Get back to work, you piece of shit. You lazy cosmonaut. I don't know, man.
And then we talk about his wife, Lenka. He has a special speed of light phone, which is different than the way they communicate here. So they have like 2 different ways. She has a special like phone booth in her house. because of course, if you're really that far out, there's a big lag, right? And so they don't want to have that.
It's not even
lag.
that bad anymore. We did an interview with the astronauts that were up, I don't know, a couple months ago or whatever, and it's there, but it's not.
Yeah, but
you can't.
They're not out by Jupiter.
That's true. They're not as far. They should be, though. That'd be cool. We should get there.
It would be minutes long, I believe.
Yeah, but again, like minutes isn't that bad, No,
you would probably just leave a thing, and then the person would, it'd be like that. And once again, that would set up his communication with the wife and make it really interesting, right?
Sure.
If he was having to compose a thing of a certain size and then throw that ball to her,
and then wait.
That's very much more interesting, because waiting is a thing that can be incredibly painful to the human being. And we never even, he's kind of waiting for her call, sort of, but then they're like, she's kind of this.
Sort of, but more he's just like, hey, guys, her phone's not working, I think, because she definitely would call me back, and she's not calling me back. Can you check in on her?
Yes.
I saw the cone.
Yeah, cool. No shit.
Sweet little baby wearing a little cone.
Don't act like that's fun. Okay,
she
so
can't hear me.
Then we set up this weird thing where he has to do like ad runs for like products that help pay for the trip,
which is one of the only ideas I like.
What?
Uh-oh,
we cut out for a second.
Did I lose you, Dan?
I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here. I'm still here.
All right, I'm still here too.
Okay, so they set up this thing where he has to do ad runs for these products because that's how they paid for the trip. They do it like 3 times, and it never really adds up to anything.
No, and I'm bummed because I actually love this idea. I think this is something that would be really fun to play with, is, the loneliest man on earth having to hawk products while he's hating his life. Like, I know that's a very interesting premise that we don't care about. Do they do that in the book?
I have to assume they do, and it's probably fun in the book, because that would be really interesting to have him, have to, okay, do the face, we got to do a little makeup, we got to get you in the good light, we don't want that, but all the mess that's behind you there, okay, go. You could just make that like what this guy's going through. And he's all like, if he was on a suicide mission and he was having to do ad runs, ad bits, that's heavy. That's heavier than anything in this whole movie.
Yeah.
Right? Kids.
Yeah.
I may not be back.
Be dark.
You get to be back on Earth, and you should be taking care of your teeth with this. I don't have to take care of my teeth because I don't know if I'm gonna live. This is this is
that would be dark. I like it.
That would be dark. Okay.
Do you think that in the book, not to spoil the ending, but I am very curious, do you think he gets rescued in the book, or do you think he dies in the book?
Should I tell you exactly what happens in the book?
I want you to tell me exactly verbatim what happens in the book.
There is no. So in this movie. Okay, let me ask you a couple questions. Did you think that this was a life or death thing, that he had to go out there to figure out what the fuck was going on with this thing because of danger to Earth?
No.
Oh, I thought that initially.
I thought that they were worried about it. I didn't think that because they don't seem to know what it is.
But they're worried about it.
Yeah, okay, yes, they're worried about it. Yeah.
Okay. I felt that they were worried about. Yeah, they don't know what it's going to do, but the idea that, and what we're going to find out is his wife is basically leaving him, and she never talks to him in this movie, right?
No,
they actually never truly communicate.
Yeah, just in the dreams.
I'm sorry, but there's going to be somebody with a gun 5 feet away from her, pointing a gun at her head, telling
you have to talk to this guy because he's losing his mind, and we need this to work.
Yeah, you can stop talking to him in a week. After he fucking gets to
on
the
way back, who cares? Like, he can kill himself on the way back. We just need the information.
Yes. If you're going to set up a tension like that, which they sort of want it, you either have to do it or not do it. One way or the other. You have to explain to this woman, it's not about this one man. It's about something bigger than that.
It's about the Earth right now. Like this is bigger than your relationship. Suck it up for 12 days, and then you can do whatever you want to do. I don't care.
Leave his dumbass.
You are stopping talking to him right at the critical point of the mission, so we're going to need you to just finish this out.
And at a certain point, we realize that there's I think a South Korean ship like a day or two behind him.
If that, they seem real close.
So you're like, oh, so what he's doing doesn't really even mean...
Doesn't matter at all.
Anything.
No, not at all.
You've taken away all the stakes of this flight meaning something.
Yes.
So in this movie, he gets away from his ship, and then he goes into the cloud, and then he goes out of the cloud, and he gets rescued by, I assume, was a South Korean ship.
Yes. In
the movie, in the book, he's going all. It's a suicide mission. He's not supposed to come back. He's by himself. There is no other ship. Whatever happens, I don't know what. She didn't say what happens in the cloud because
sure.
He gets rescued by a Russian ship that is they launched in secret.
Oh.
The Russian ship takes him back to Earth, but they're going to kill him.
Oh.
But one guy's like takes pity on him or whatever, lets him go when they get back to Earth. He escapes, doesn't go back to the wife, thinks that she would live a better life without him.
Okay, so the good news is that is where I believe he is at the end of this movie anyhow. He just thinks that he wants to be with her because he's, I'm so lonely. But really, he doesn't want to be with the wife. Straight up, he doesn't want to be with her.
Oh, really? You think it? Yeah. You think that character does not want to be with that wife?
I think he's incapable of truly loving somebody, and I think what the spider really shows him is the fact that she would be better off if he wasn't in her life. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because he's a piece of shit. She's there for him every step of the way, and he's like, I don't care about you. I don't like you. I'm talking about myself. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to go to space. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, like the spider's like, how could you not expect her to hate you? And then his answer is, I'll just love her. No, nope, too late, guy. The answer is, you fucked up. She doesn't love you anymore, and you never truly loved her. Just move on. Move on.
He fell in love with her in when she kissed him, and that was it. After that, he never really...
He lusted her because he's probably never been with a woman in his life.
Adam Sandler, not the most attractive guy on the planet.
Especially in this movie. I don't know if it's makeup or if he kind of just starved himself for a while, but he's gaunt. You know what I mean?
Really?
It looks about what I'd expect from a guy in space for a while. Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, losing bone density, all kinds of terrible things.
And he has the saddest eyes you're ever going to see. What is he acting, or is something going on with Adam? Because he looks so sad all the time.
I think he is kind of a sad guy. I get that from him. I get that vibe from him. I think it's Tears of the Clown a little bit with him.
Sure. I'm excited to see Happy Gilmore and to see if it's, because there's people that are like sad eyes with a smile. And that's always the most depressing thing in the world for me is when you're smiling, but I know you're really sad. I'm hoping that that's not the case with Happy Gilmore. And he's joyous again, but I'm worried.
Is that what I am, Tony? What am I?
I've never seen you smile before, Dan. You're just angry all the time.
Angry? I'm not angry.
Yeah, you're angry.
No, I'm hateful, not angry.
Oh, you're right. No, you're right. It's more outward. You're right. Hateful.
You know how to make me happy. Okay.
Make me happy.
World's loudest toilet. The toilet's loud. They can't fix his toilet.
What is this bit? Or I guess bit's even the wrong word because it's not funny, but what is this story through line? I don't know. I don't get it.
I mean, it's about the thing where it's like, it's the most annoying thing in the world and you can't fix it, right? You fix it and it just breaks again and you wake up and you can't sleep because of the noise.
Why is it the toilet? That's just such a very specific thing to me. And I just couldn't figure out why is it the shitter,
Yeah.
I don't know. Is that also a metaphor or an allegory or an analogy? I don't know the difference between any of those three words, by the way, so I just use them interchangeably.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And the space spider loves the sound of the toilet. So
and why is that?
Maybe the space spider, because the space spider, when it comes along, says, I was studying you, and then I decided to come inside. And there's a lot of debate as to whether the spider is him or it's actually a thing. Or I don't know what it is.
I figured it out.
You figured out what the space spider is?
Are you ready for this, Dan? You're going to love this. This is right up Dan Goodsell's alley. The spider is Adam Sandler's shit. All right. So the bathroom backed up. It's his poop. And he's just talking to floating poop right now. And he's in his head, he's made a creature out of it, but it's really because the bathroom's broken. There's the movie. Fixed it. Roll credits.
He tries to call his wife. Wife doesn't answer. He takes sleep drops. He wakes up to the noise of the toilet. And then he has his dream that there's like a bug in his eye, and then it's in his face. Then he wakes up from that.
I didn't like that dream, but it was one of the most interesting things that they do in the movie.
It doesn't feel like it connects to anything else in the movie.
Nope, not to me. But it wasn't like it didn't seem to mean anything to the movie. I don't know.
Creepy as fuck.
Yeah, really got under my skin, as it were.
He tries to call Lenka. Somebody else answers, and he's like, "Who is this?" I don't know what that was about.
That the spider answers.
The spider answered? Is that what happened?
Yeah, or talks to him, and he thinks it's on the phone. I don't know.
So he calls ground control Peter's bro, and he's like, "I'll look into it." Lenka goes and visits. Oh, they tell him Lenka's off visiting her mother. Fine. He's hearing all these noises. He's playing with his snacks. His toilet goes off. He goes in there, and then there is the spider. So this thing that's the alien, or it's his subconscious, or it's some part of his brain, is personified as this big sort of brown, hairy spider.
Yeah.
Who he names Hanush later on.
Yeah, and there was a story to that I didn't understand.
Yeah. So now he's got a spider.
How do you feel about Paul Dano? Dano?
I mean, it's fine. He's fine.
Yeah.
I just wish it was something. I mean, the spider looked good. It was good design. It looked great at all times.
Again, it's a good looking movie.
I
will never fault it for visuals.
I find it incredibly uninteresting that it's a spider. That doesn't mean anything to me. If it was something, like...
You didn't get the allegory.
There it is. I didn't get the allegory.
No, wait. If it was something, what were you going to say? I want to hear your idea.
I don't know. I would rather it was just... I mean, I understand probably in the book it's a spider, but I'd rather it was just an alien.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah.
And because it being a spider, if I'm in there and I see this spider, I'm going to be like, that's my question. Right? That's my number one question. I'm going to be like, I don't fucking understand how you can be a spider.
Hang on. You're a spider? How are you alive in space? What's the spider part of you that can breathe in space?
Yeah.
How did you get to my ship, Spider-Man?
And when he starts telling, me all this stuff about, how his planet got invaded by the Guptas or the Blooptas or the Nooptas or whatever it is.
It's Gooba did something.
Yeah. It's like, wait a second. I mean, are you just floating through space? Are you a consciousness? Why am I seeing you?
Seems like he's just floating through space, yeah.
He accepts the spider after, like, kind of this first scene. Yeah. And I'm just like, no, you're going to have to explain to me why you're a spider. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
As someone who has hallucinated in life. And
you taking those shrooms, Dan?
No, just in general life. I understand, hallucination. See, my hallucinations are, I'll like walk around a corner and I'll look and I'll see a person. And then I'll realize it's a tree.
Yeah.
And the same tree I always see as this person all the time. If I look directly at it, I know it's a tree or whatever.
Well, you're not going to like what I'm about to tell you, Dan, but that's you seeing a ghost. You're seeing through the veil.
No, what it is
yeah, you are.
My brain is mapping onto that image, and somewhere in my image, I saw a person in my life that's exactly the same shape as that, and it maps that on there. Because I used to see, at my parents' house, when we were staying there, I used to see ghost cats. just in my
Yeah,
peripheral.
because
Ghost
you
cats.
can see through the vent. You're seeing ghost cats, Dan. And that person by the tree was hung at that tree for sure, and they haunt the tree. You're seeing ghosts. I don't know what to tell you, bud. You're seeing the other side.
They planted that tree while I've lived here, so there were no hangings at that tree.
Okay, well, then they were murdered beforehand. All right, I guess my compass is a little off, but you're seeing ghosts, bud.
What I'm seeing is I'm seeing old memories, and that's the thing. It's like, okay,
yeah, other people's old memories, they're called ghosts. All right, I'm sorry, continue.
Oh, why don't you tell me about my spirituality, Tony? Jesus Christ. Whatever. The point is, you have this thing that you can talk to. And I mean, the spider says it later. The spider's like, you never asked me any questions about me. And I mean, that's who this Adam Sandler character is. He is not intellectually curious.
And guess what? That isn't solved by the end of the movie. As much as they want you to think, oh, now I'm going to be thoughtful and I love you. I can't believe I haven't treated you correctly. No. He is at the point where he's like, I've got nothing left. I need this person. It has nothing to do with him loving her. He needs her. Totally different things.
Yeah. So he tries to fumigate the thing and the spider disappears. Then he starts having these memories, the wife in like a flower field. And then the spider starts sort of talking to him. He sensed your fear. Then the spider sneezes on him and gets spider snot all over the front of his
Why is
thing.
that something that happens?
Because it probably in the book it was funny.
You think so? You know what? I'll buy it. Who knows? Stranger things have happened.
I mean, can you imagine you, Tony, are in a spacesuit talking to an extraterrestrial spider and the spider sneezes all over your faceplate of your spacesuit? How would you react to that? I'd
be very upset.
Would you be lonely and maudlin?
No, I'd be yelling at the spider. He could have sneezed in any direction other than the one direction that now prohibits me from seeing anything at all.
What the fuck, spider? Why are you sneezing on me? I tried to kill you. Okay, I tried to kill you. Okay.
Oh, sure. I get it.
But you gotta sneeze on me. What's the matter for you?
What's the matter, you spider?
Okay. The spider's like, I'm as real as you are, but you're not allowed to touch me. Except at the end, they're allowed to they do some touching.
Yeah, I mean, they do a weird 6, 8. How many legs do spiders have? 8-legged hug?
Last I looked, it's 8. He gets out of the suit, and the spider explains his sort of bit. I'm an explorer. I studied Earth. Your loneliness intrigued me, and so I came inside. But I'll leave you alone.
So he just explores naked.
Yeah. I don't know.
How do you enter an atmosphere?
Adam Sandler's character, incapable of asking an actual useful question. That's the character they've set up in the book and in the movie. I don't know. He comes back from space after a year. Doesn't even say to his wife, "How you been?"
No, he does, because he does not care.
Now, do they play like one of his videos of what he send to her? Do we ever get it? Because we never have an interaction between them where we can analyze who he is, right? Like, if somebody was trying to analyze you and me, they would watch one of these videos and they would understand our relationship.
Pretty fast.
Alpha, beta. It's like, man.
I believe the word is cuck. Okay, I don't know.
You could draw a lot of inferences about what our relationship is. I don't want to know what they are. Don't leave them in the comments because I don't care.
Let's sound off in the comments, friends. Let's get this going.
But that's the whole thing: is you see a relationship that occurs when you see two people. You see like a couple out in public. For the first time, and you're all like, oh, that's how these two are.
That's people watching's the best. You know, like I don't even have to know them. I just like to judge people based on the interactions I see at the mall. That's a fun game.
My wife and I sit on the couch and we will dissect people.
Oh my God.
Endlessly.
That's why reality TV is fun. All right, don't get me wrong. That's all we do.
We are all amateur serial killer profilers.
For sure.
And we sit on our couches and we do it 24/7 and we're always right.
You're on your couch 24/7. I'm so
I
jealous.
never leave
Dan.
that couch just for this. Coming on this couch, and
I'm
out
honored.
that couch.
I'm honored that this is the special couch.
Oh no, this room is my spaceship out to Jupiter. Shannon's like, can we get you out of there so that you can talk to me? I'm like, nope, I'm on my spaceship,
can't do it.
talking to my spider. Not gonna talk to you.
Sorry.
I'll call you on the space phone later. Not talking to you now.
Maybe we won't talk.
Maybe.
Yeah. Because there's a point where the wife is like talks about their phone calls and how much silence there is, right?
Oh, does she say that at one point?
I swear she's like, you hear the silence? Now when I say it, it sounds dumb. So now I don't know.
No, that sounds like something she would have said.
I thought she did.
I think there's a point at which she's like, ask me something. Like,
yeah.
You want to know how my day was? It's one of those things, and that's the thing about relationships. If you have drifted into the relationship, and you can change your relationships, right? Because I'm a horrible gaslighter, and I have to. Shannon yells at me, and I have to control myself because I'm like, well, you're never going to learn a lesson unless I gaslight you into learning a lesson.
It's for your own good, okay?
I always think it's for your own good, but sometimes you gotta turn the dial down because you go too far.
Sure. Not everybody needs the lesson. You know what I mean? Not every time, Dan.
Well, they do need the lesson, but
they don't want it. They're not going to receive it either way. So all you're going to do is upset them.
That's all we ever do. Okay. I'll leave you alone. Okay. Wife visits her friend. And the friend is just like, or maybe it's her mom. I don't know.
Hard to be sure.
It's Lena Olin. We don't. And that's the thing about this movie is just have her walk in and go, "Hey, mom, do
Mommy.
something."
Yeah,
mommy, he's being mean to me. Just
oh, daughter. Things like that.
Do a little something because we don't know because they say she's going to visit her mom. We don't know that that's true because we know that they're lying to him.
Exactly. And they're both, pretty old. So it's hard to know.
Well,
okay.
The wife is played by Carey Mulligan.
Okay.
You know what that means?
I don't know what that means. What does it mean?
She looks older than she is.
Oh, that's just a thing?
Yeah.
Well, that's something we all know about Carey Mulligan? Okay.
I pointed it out before. Let's assume it's the mom. The mom's like, it's kind of a crazy time to leave him because she's pregnant too.
Right.
She's like probably 6 months and 3 days. So he
so was it the last day they just kind of boned and then he left? So really, was the relationship that bad? Come on. All right.
Wants to sleep with that sad sack. We cut back. The spider's back, I guess. I guess he's not leaving. He wants to try eggs. And then he's like, we don't have any eggs. So he gives him chocolate. And he likes the chocolate.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't? I was in a room the other day.
Really, Tony? Wow, good to know.
Yeah. I was at work and we had cake because it was somebody's birthday. And there were 6 people in this room. 3 of them said, no, thank you. I don't like chocolate. That feels like a high percentage of people in one room that don't like chocolate. That's weird to me.
Was it a chocolate cake with chocolate frosting?
No, it was a vanilla cake with chocolate frosting, which is my favorite. That's a great combination.
It's an incredible combination. Did they take vanilla? Did they peel the vanilla cake?
I convinced one of them to eat the cake but sliver off the frosting onto my cake, so I had 2 layers of frosting on my cake. Which was pretty good. So it worked out for me. I was just shocked by the sheer volume of people that didn't like chocolate in one room. It was weird.
See, I have to have the perfect frosting cake ratio. And usually they put too much frosting on.
So you're one of those people that like scrapes it off on the side but keeps some of it. Yeah, that's fine. We would get along because I would just spoon that off your plate.
So no, I know you would. Like an animal.
I would just dip my finger right in it, scrape around the edge. Perfect.
Like an animal. So the spider says that he traveled here through time and black holes.
Right. And that doesn't make sense, Dan.
So the wife...
What little I know about black holes, I don't think that's how they work.
Yeah. Wife goes to house to live. So she told some story about some house where
Yeah,
some
like
sort
a
of I thought it was
pregnant group home.
pregnant beaten women or something. It was like
I
terrible.
don't know.
And
Yeah, I don't know.
when she finally goes to this house, it's like fucking mansion and the swimming pool, and it's like I would like to go to this house.
And 20 pregnant women. So that's
Mm.
that sounds like a lot of work.
That would be a lot of emotional work being in a place
Right?
with 20. I've never been anywhere near a pregnant woman, but I have to imagine it's terrible.
It's got to be. Got to be. Those hormones are out of control. Not in a bad way, but just, it's tough. I imagine not being one.
Now I'm like, he's trying to get in touch with her, and this is the line I wrote. He was glad, she was sad after they lost their first kid.
Sure.
What the fuck does that mean? That means you're broken.
I don't know what that means. I don't know who said it, but like, maybe he was like relieved that they don't have a child,
Yeah.
I don't remember.
Yeah. Okay. Oh wait. Oh shit! I skipped page 2. That happens later.
Oh no! A whole page. Oh boy.
The wife is pregnant. Yeah, I thought she got to that house pretty quick. I was like, I bet she's already going to the house. She goes to the house later. The president is going to talk to her by helicopter. And then,
Right.
Then we start doing things about the cloud. The spider explains that the cloud holds wisdom. There's particles from the beginning. And then he's like, your memories are... And then we do a memory about when the wife proposed... Because the wife proposed to him, I guess, in this place with lights, I guess. She was like, I got to take you to this special place. And then you go there and it's just like a place that there's like some lights on the wall.
Pretty cool.
Was it cool?
Well, maybe. I mean, listen, I've never been to the Czech Republic. Maybe that's like what is considered cool. I don't know.
That's like the big, here it is. This one room. There's like 3 lights. Enjoy. We'll come pick you up at 2.
This is amazing.
2.5 hours later, we're going to come pick you up. Enjoy. Like 2.5 hours.
Have fun, guys. Have fun.
2.5 hours. And then the spider's like, your memories are making me depressed. Okay, we go back to the wife. The wife says, he can't see me. He just sees dust. I loved him because he was ambitious. I was wrong for loving him.
Right. And all of that's kind of confusing. Is he ambitious?
We never see him being ambitious for 1 microsecond. Right? Never so for one microsecond does he seem ambitious.
It's hard to trust what people say in this movie because we don't see any of that in reality. It's very confusing to me.
That's what you do in Act 1. You see the person as they are, right? Because that's what and if that's who he is, we got to see him on the last day. Right? They have sex.
Yeah.
He's this man.
Yeah, they did.
He's striding up the thing. Boom, boom, boom. We have 10 minutes where we launch, and then we do a thing that says 6 months later, and we meet the man who has
a shell of his former self.
Shell of what he used to be. And we see that he, it has, they tell him that this is a suicide mission, and he's like, President, I am doing this because this needs to be done, because this, that. And then we find out this was all a front for him because of his childhood trauma with the dad. And he has made these choices and dragged this poor wife and this new child into it. And he has to figure out that, he needs to let them go so that they can have the good lives that they need to have without his.
All makes sense to me.
And this seems like it's what's in the book.
Listen, if I read books, maybe I'd read it and tell you, but I've been reading the same book for like 6 months now.
He gives the spider a name, Hanush. Then we get this whole story about the first guy who built an astronomical clock, and his name was Hanush.
Yeah, okay.
Don't you want to look into that astronomical clock?
I don't. You want me to?
Yes.
Hold on.
That's your thing. And then then we have the sort of setup. The spider's like, "Oh, you and your wife are star-crossed lovers," and then he's like, "Where did the love go?" And it's like, "Well, love didn't go anywhere because it was never there." Okay. We do some stuff with the dad because he was a pig farmer. He runs each day so that he avoids bone
Wait a
decay.
second. Let's take a quick pause here, Dan.
Uh-oh. We're getting into the history of the astronomical clock of Czechoslovakia.
I'm looking at the history of the astronomical clock, and it seems that it was not built by Hanush.
Who's Hanush then?
80 years after initial construction, 80 years later, the legendary master Hanush rebuilt the clock. So he just kind of iterated on someone else's design from 80 years ago. And as the legend goes, the counselors had him blinded so that he would not be able to build another instrument greater than the Prague astronomical clock. So, it ended badly for him, it seems. I am confused on the story. Is this the story we heard in the movie? I feel like it's not.
Maybe it was. Yeah, it was.
He built a clock and then was blinded so that he couldn't build anything better than that because they're like, no, this is as high as we go. This is as good as Prague gets, guy. You better stop.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay. Whew. So he runs, and then the spider's like, you chose to flee your planet. Tell me about your father. Then we get the whole sort of his dad was an informant, and he's doing this to atone for his father's sins. Okay. The president gets to see the wife, and then she's basically like, we didn't give him your message of breaking up with him because she recorded a message breaking up with him. She's like, we didn't give that to him, and she's all like, don't worry about him, he'll be fine, which is kind of true. Whether or not this spider is real or not, he conjured up a spider to get him through the tough parts, as opposed to really changing.
Because he doesn't change. The end of the movie is bullshit.
He's not doing well. He's missing you. And then she's like, well, then he shouldn't have left. And True. I mean, I really hated her through most of the movie.
Because it's a year.
It's pretty not cool to be blowing up this guy that's out in space.
It's obviously a big year being pregnant and all, and that's unfortunate. But it does seem like the timing of that couldn't really be helped. You know what I mean? Because it's not like they got pregnant and then he was like, you know what? Tomorrow I think I'm going to leave. That was already a plan. So whether or not he knew she was pregnant before he left, you can't just be like, oh, by the way, astronaut people, I'm not going. I know we've been training for this mission for 3 years. I'm not going. So it just feels a little unfair that she's like all mad all of a sudden. And I don't know. Just stick it out a year.
Yeah. It's because you see it in war movies too, where the women break up with the dudes while they're overseas. And it's like, just keep sending him letters to keep him going and, nip out with
then when he gets back, just be like, peace out, idiot.
Sorry, I married this other guy while you were gone. And then he's all like, wait, what? It's like, yeah, sorry.
It's not that long. You know what I mean? Like a year goes real quick. The older we get, the faster time goes. I don't know how that really works out, but that's how it feels. So like she's 50, right? Her year is like 2 weeks.
70. How old is Adam Sandler?
He can't be. He's not 70. That can't be right. Adam Sandler. Right. He's 58. So, he's up there.
Man, he's younger than me. Spry young. And look, I look better than him, right?
Well, in this movie, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, he looks better when he's got the face.
He's got the face. Yeah, when he loses that face. Oh, boy.
Okay, it's 45 hours to go. You're going to be there first. He does a test. It goes well. This weird old conversation with his wife replays out of this projector, and her eyes like going bleep, 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 bleep. That I hated. I hated that.
I don't get it. I don't know.
And then it was about leaving or something, and then boom, one of the space particles is in the spaceship, and this is the first time we see him really be who he is. Right? This is him.
Sure.
He gets enthusiastic. He goes and finds a container to try and capture it. Yeah. It flies right out of the thing, and he sucks it up in the toilet. Then he tries to call Peter, and he can't get through to Peter. And then there's more particles, and you're like, "This is who he is. He's not fighting this hard for the wife."
Nope. Sure ain't.
He's just moping around about the wife.
Yeah, which is boring.
And then we cut to the wife, and the wife sees a spider on the curtain, and then she puts her finger out so the spider can crawl on her. Tony, do you do that when you see spiders in your house?
Are you kidding me? I would have a shoe in my hand in less than 3 seconds, and that son of a bitch is going down. All right? No spiders in my house.
Didn't you have like spiders on your landing or something, and you had to like go through them, and they would try to kill you? Or was that Harrison?
Wait, what?
I think that was at Harrison's old place. He had like a spider infestation. Like,
the Black Widows?
Oh, that was you.
No, that was me.
That was you?
Yeah, we had Black Widows on our. Oh God! So I live in an apartment complex, and there's one of those dial things, you know, where you have to put in the code. There was a nest of Black Widow spiders underneath the thing, and they would come out at night and like hang at the bottom of the thing. So to push the button, you're like, I don't know, 2 inches away from a Black Widow spider. And I get everyone's like, just leave them alone, and they'll leave you alone. It's like, they're going to think I'm coming for them. I got a big old hand. If it's coming in jabbing at them, they're going to fucking kill me. So I got some spider killer, and I killed them. And listen, a lot of people don't like that I kill spiders. And if you're one of those people, I apologize. But I want to live, okay? I want to live. Not that I deserve to live more than the spider, but I have the means to do it. So sorry, bud.
We get flies in the house sometimes.
Ay.
And it drives the dog crazy. So what we have to do is we have to like get them into one of the rooms, seal them off, and then I have a squirt bottle. And then I squirt the thing until it's watered down and can't fly, and then I crush it with my hands.
Just a nice, slow, painful death.
Yeah.
Good for you, Dan.
I hate them.
Teach those flies a lesson. Do you leave them out?
Do I leave the flies' dead bodies out, like as a warning?
Yeah. So I started leaving the carcasses of spiders behind as a warning. But do you know that it's the opposite? So it turns out that a dead spider emits like some sort of scent that attracts other spiders to come get. I was like, holy shit, I'm doing it all wrong. So the lesson learned, everybody, don't leave the dead bodies as a warning to others, because it doesn't work.
One of my favorite things ever was in one of these D&D games we used to play when we were kids. And we killed this creature. I killed this creature. It was some sort of ogre or something. It was like a Japanese ogre.
Sure.
And I cut off its head, and I threw it over the castle walls to, teach them a lesson.
God darn right.
It regenerated. Should have burned the thing up.
Did you lose?
I don't remember.
Oh, boy.
But, we all do dumb things, Tony.
So true.
I only do them in games. So I don't do them in real life. I do everything.
Sure, I only do them in real life. It's tough.
Wife plays with a spider. Your wife feels your dread about having a kid. Then we do this whole. Then we do the wife losing the first child. Okay.
Yeah. Now we're finally back to where we were before.
Wife goes to live in the house.
It's just like the movie. Nothing's in order. We're doing flashbacks to page 2 after we did page 3. Oh boy.
Shut up, Tony. This is the point where he's glad that she was sad after losing the kid. Okay. He uses the big cell phone, which he usually called the wife, to call Peter. But then Hannah shuts it down and says, "You only want to connect when you want to. Your loneliness is self-inflicted. You bore me." And then the spider's going to leave. And he's like, "Don't leave. I need you. Don't leave." And then wait, hold on. The spider says, "All you can see is yourself." He's like, "Wait." And then the spider's gone. And he's like, "I'll do anything."
Right. So this scene right here is categorical proof that the end of the movie is the exact same thing. He's doing the exact same thing he does to Hanush, to his wife, where he's like, I'll do anything. I'm so lonely. I need you. I'm not going to support you. I'm not going to care for you, but I need you because I'm lonely. Wah. And if someone wants to try to prove me wrong and show me in the movie where he actually changes, I'll listen, but I don't believe you.
I don't think he changes.
Because it says it right here. This is the line of the movie where he's like, "You only what did he say? You wrote it down. You only reach out when you need it, or something."
You only want to connect when you want to.
Yeah, exactly. And guess what? He wants to right now. He's real sad in space all alone.
And the thing we learn in relationships is we have to fake interest in our loved ones.
I don't know if that's the lesson.
If you want to keep your loved ones, you have to feign interest in them. That's what we learned.
Listen, you're not totally wrong. I feel like you're framing it negatively.
Because then eventually you'll be able to, move the conversation back into talking about you.
Yourself. You got to navigate, be like, oh yes, I'm interested, but now let's bring it back to me. Thank God I'm here.
Every conversation is about
brilliant
navigating it back to talking about me. Duh.
Shannon is a lucky lady.
Now he has the memory about the secret place where they kissed. And this is where he's spinning, and he's boozed up, and he's spinning. And
yeah, I did not like this at all.
Now, did you think when all the booze particles were floating out into the very important systems that keep him alive, did you think something was going to happen because of that?
I feel like they should, but it doesn't matter because I guess space neutralizes wetness. So
that's what every astronaut's ever said to me. They walk up to me and they're like, space neutralizes wetness.
So there you go. Don't go.
Wife's in the swimming pool being pregnant. Jakob is crying. Ooh. He calls Peter, calm down, and he's like, Peter, you got to go see Lenka. She's mad. So he drives out there. She's mad. He's like, okay, Jakob needs to just talk to you. He doesn't just want you to listen. This is what he says. I get it. Oh, at one point he said, after the mission, so the mission's supposed to go out, do the space station, and then come home. But he said to her at one point, maybe I'll just keep going and see what it's like past Jupiter. So
which isn't how anything works, by the way.
So that's suicidal. Right. So he's like, I'm more interested in collecting some more bonus information and killing myself than coming home to you, which is just a weird thing that's separate from everything.
I didn't even put that together as he still wouldn't come home. To me, it was just like, I might just stay, like when you go to like your weekend home and you're just like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to call in sick to work for the next 3 days. I'm going to stay an extra 2 days. That's what it felt like he was doing. But I see what you're saying.
Yeah. You're mapping Tony's way of living life, which is like, how can I get away with being on vacation even longer?
Just a wee bit longer, because this is nice.
I want to come home. I'm not sure why I left. You're all that matters. I never tried to know you. This is what a guy is saying to his wife that he's been married to for 10 years, I would think.
Amount of years, yeah.
Years. I never tried to know you. I didn't see you. I lived my life for all the wrong things. I don't deserve you. And at the very last, he says, I'm so sorry. Then she cries and he cries and the cloud clouds.
Oh, it clouds, all right. So this reminds me of like, when you see interventions and stuff, and then people like addicts are like, I'll never do it again, and they think they mean it.
Yeah.
And this is not a negative, like it's very different things because one of them's a disease, but it just kind of reminds me of like this guy's like, I have to say what I'm gonna say in order to keep her because I want to keep her, but then as soon as he gets the next adventure, he's gone. Guaranteed. He hasn't changed. He just talked to the spider 8 seconds ago, and the spider was like, you are selfish. See you later. And now he's like, oh, I'm selfish. No one's ever told me this before. So now I understand everything. It's dumb.
Selfishness doesn't typically go away.
No, it's hard. And you can like learn to manage it. I'm a very selfish person, but I think I do a decent job of trying to manage that. No, not great. Not great. Well, now that you've told me, now I get it. I'm cured.
Un poco. Shannon knows a lot of addicts. Shannon has addictive things. We all have addictive things.
Oh, yeah.
But she's had addictive things in her life. And she's always like 10%. that's the amount of people that get through serious addictions. The other
Yeah, that's
90%
hard.
go back again, go back again, go back again. It's hard. It's very
Yeah,
hard.
it's very hard.
Very hard to change because we live very stressful existences. And this guy, he's on a spaceship. He'll say anything. He's spent. She's sitting back at home, maybe being a little bored, but she could just go see her mom, hang out with her friends, have a shrimp cocktail, whatever.
Swim in a pool.
Swim in a pool. He can't swim in a pool.
I love swimming in pools. He can't even take a shower. He's wiping himself with those cloths. You ever try to wash yourself with one of those cloths? It's the worst experience in the world to me. God, I hate it. It's so gross. I hardly use moist toilets when I eat wings, or ribs when they give you those. I don't even use those. I just lick my fingers and then use a napkin. I hate wet wipes. Hate them.
Tell us how you really feel, you big weirdo. Okay, he has a memory about the ashes of his dad, and there's Hamush in the urn. And then he's like, "Oh, you have purged. Now sleep." And then he's all like, "Don't leave me again. Let us face the cloud together."
But he says sleep, and then doesn't he wake him up immediately?
Yeah, because they got to go into the cloud.
Yeah, I was a little confused.
This is when the spider's like, "You know what? I told you I'm going to live forever. Nope, I'm dying because I have."
Guess what? I'm already dead. So here's my biggest problem: is he goes from being like totally fine, Paul Dano, to the next scene can't even breathe.
Yeah.
He's like,
yeah.
How did this happen?
Because the aliens that invaded his planet are inside of him.
Which also doesn't make any sense.
I hated that part.
I'm sorry.
I hated
because
that part.
if there was so many of them at the end, like what's happening, Dan?
I fled too late. And then he's like, "You never asked about me." So wait, so the spider's already blowing him up because the spider said that he did good, but the spider's blowing him up instantly.
Yeah, because fuck you, dude. You don't even know who I am.
And then they do a big hug, and then tomorrow's the big day. Okay, big day. The wife talks to some random lady about the cloud. I don't know what that scene was.
And why do they all know that her husband is the astronaut up there? Because that scene ends with the lady being like, "I'd rather be here than up there." Why?
I don't know. That scene.
Why would you? What?
That scene was weird. The scene was super weird. It's almost time, and then Lenka leaves the birth center and takes a car, and it's like driving away.
Yeah, I don't know where she's going.
Yeah. So he's doing the collection thing, and now Hanush is like outside, and then he's all like, "Oh, I gotta stop the collection. I gotta save Hanush because Hanush is the only thing that matters." And so he takes a thing of the decontaminant with him outside, which I thought he was going to use that to control where he was going.
He can swim pretty much.
Well, hold on. So he goes over to Hanush, and then he just lets the thing go. Boop, 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 and I'm like, and I guess he was trying to decontaminate Hanush. Oh, that's what he was trying to do.
Yeah,
He's trying to
get rid of the bugs.
The bugs that are inside the spider. Oh, see, I didn't realize. Did you realize that at the time?
I think that Hanush says it later. I think he's like, "Thanks for trying with that stuff."
Oh, I see.
Now, my biggest problem with that is I was like, well, you already got dosed with it in the ship.
Big time dose.
So if that didn't heal you then, it wasn't going to heal you now. Well, that doesn't make any sense.
As you say, Adam Sandler's character has not learned anything. So
he hasn't learned
keep trying the same thing. Keep trying to do the same thing.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
So they're just floating out there, and then Hanush takes him by the hand, and then Hanush can swim through space because that's how space works.
That's how spiders work. I don't know if you've ever seen
also how spiders work. And then we go into the cloud, and I don't know, man.
Oh, you don't know? I thought you were going to know this part because this is the part where I turned to my wife and I did this. What? That's it. That was my big reaction. I was like, "What? I'm defeated. I'm defeated at this point in this movie."
How much does your wife hate me?
Oh, she was playing her Switch the entire time. After like the first 5 minutes, she turned on Disney Dreamlight Valley and never looked back.
Damn. Maybe next time. Um,
I'll hide her Switch so she has to watch it with me.
then the wife is at this weird unbuilt house. Did you understand
Sure.
that at all? What's with the unbuilt house that she went to so
I have
soon?
no idea. Not a clue. Yeah.
Then the spider's like, this is it, the ending and the beginning, and there's a lot of things.
Because I don't know what that means.
And then we figure out then he just figures out that the first time he saw her, that's when he felt that's the only time he really cared about her and was sort of in love with her. And like you say,
what?
maybe
that's not love.
That was him being horny.
Yeah, that is the chemical in your brain that's like, I need to mate now. So we've all been there, buddy.
That's how I first saw her, and then he's like, she's not here, and then he gives Hunnish the chocolate. Here you go, take this chocolate with you to death. And then that's
how I want to go.
Someone says
death by chocolate.
But this was actually hazelnut. I should stop saying.
I like hazelnut. That's fine too. It's not as good as chocolate, but it does fine. Like it makes a nice sandwich, you know.
Yeah. I feel fear, and you feel hope. Thanks, Hanush. Particles out.
Particles out.
Yeah, he particles out. He turns into a bunch of dust.
No, I know. Just that would be a funny sign off.
Particles out, bro. The wife sees a particle, and then she kind of connects with him across space, which I was like, that's interesting.
It's interesting, but like, are the particles on Earth now? Like, how much trouble are they in?
That one got there. Shit's gonna go down when the particles get there.
We still don't know what the cloud is or what it's going to do, and nobody seems to care at the end of the movie.
I thought I read you what it was. It's the ending and the beginning.
Don't read it's the beginning and the ending. I'm gonna punch you. That is not an explanation.
Right here. It's on the page.
It's right here. Straight from the script.
Then we cut back to the river. He's in the river from the very beginning of the movie, walking. There's his wife all dressed up like she's going to Mardi Gras or something. And then,
the Rusalka.
Yeah, like they're going to Mardi Gras or something. They connect, and the relationship starts over. He's back in space. He gets saved by the South Korean. The wife gets a call. I would never have left you. I'd kiss you again. It was a really good kiss. So does he call her? I guess he calls her from the South Koreans.
He calls her from the other ship. And he's like, if I knew now what I knew then, I never would have left. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. And then she was like, well, I'd still kiss you because you're a good kisser. Also bullshit. I'm calling her right now. I don't think he's that good of a kisser.
There it is. And their relationship has a 10% chance of working.
If that. I give it 1%.
Tony's putting him at 1%. I'm giving him 10% because that's the number.
That's the statistical number. And I just don't believe he's even that far. You know what I mean?
But this movie, like, definitely is like, oh God, who's that?
Painful?
Who's that one director that did Tree of Life? Who did the movie Tree of Life? Who's that director?
Oh, boy. Oh, I got a terrible memory, but I have a great Google.
Google that, Tony.
Tree of Life film 2011, obviously made by Terrence Malick.
Yeah, this felt like an amateur Terrence Malick movie. Right? That's what it felt like to me.
Sure. I don't think I've ever seen a Terrence Malick film, and I don't have any plans to. So thanks for making me watch the Kmart version.
We're going to do Tree of Life in 2 weeks.
God, that movie's over 2 hours. I'm out. 2 hours, 18 minutes. No thanks.
They're like, oh, it's like a memory of Sunday in the 1970s. Blah, 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 blah. Anything else you want to say about this great movie, Tony?
It's pretty.
It's good looking, well made,
good looking,
well made movie. Hire this DP, hire these special effects guys.
100%. But just to get a different movie, get a different movie for it.
Have them make a good movie.
It doesn't even have to be good. Just something more watchable where I don't sit there and I just want to punch myself in the face to stay awake to get through it.
A lot of dreamy shots, dreamy and weird
Dreamy isn't the right. They're
lenses.
all warped, and I was just like, why? What is this? Why? What is the choice for this? Why? I don't need this. You know, Psych used to do a lot of flashbacks to when he's a child,
Yeah.
and they would just sepia tone it. You know, they just make it a little more brown. That's how you know it's the dream and versus reality. You don't need to do this weird warp thing. I thought at first maybe we were looking through the spider's eyes, but then I was like, no, it would have a bunch of circles, and that's not right. So I still don't know why this movie made these choices.
Brown it up. Now we talk about something we liked this week. Tony, what did you like this week?
Oh, I'm gonna say two things.
Oh, two things.
We watched the movie Novocaine with Jack Quaid.
Who I was on jury duty with.
It was awesome.
Was it? Was it good?
It is insane. It is so like brutal and gory, but also funny.
Yeah.
It was really good. I would recommend it, but if you're squeamish, just get ready to close your eyes because they do some really messed up stuff because he can't feel pain. So it's like, what can you do to a guy that doesn't feel pain? Turns out you can do a lot of stuff to him. It's pretty messed up.
Do they do things to his teeth? Do they do things to his teeth?
Do they do teeth? I don't think they do teeth.
Oh,
they mess up his hand is probably the grossest thing that they do. But it's fun. It's some fun stuff. I would recommend it. And then we started watching Your Friends and Neighbors, the new John Hamm show.
And
I'm really liking it. It's very poignant to my life right now because it's all about him getting laid off and then turning to a life of crime, which is one of my options I'm thinking about.
We're going to do crime? Excellent.
You want to do some crime? I'll do crime right now. Naomi doesn't think I'd be very good at it.
Well,
I don't know.
Murder for hire, I'd do that.
I don't think I'd be good at that. Just because, like, I'd want to brag about it. You know what I mean? Be like, oh, I took this guy out, no problem. Look how tough I am. But no, we're having a good time. John Hamm's great. He's great. Amanda Pete's great. It's good. Yeah, we're enjoying it.
Yeah, I watched her on something. She just you're like, wow, that smile.
If you like Amanda Pete, you should go watch the old mid-2000s series Bent. With her, it's one of my favorite sitcoms. It only lasted 6 episodes, but I rewatch it all the time. David Walton is in it, who is one of my biggest man crushes. It's great. Go watch it. I don't know if you can. I don't know if it's streaming anywhere.
What was that?
I bought it.
What was that one? The movie where they kidnap her and put her in the basement with Steve Zahn.
Oh, Saving Silverman.
Yeah,
Jack Black. Steve Zahn, Jason Biggs, Amanda Pete. That movie's great. Judith escaped. So good.
She's so evil. She's so, and you're like,
she's so hot.
But you
movie.
would be,
oh my God.
She would just control any man around her.
Yeah,
like, yep.
And I'm here for it. I'm just like, take the reins. Take the reins.
All
I'm yours.
men are like, yeah, I tried to, but I would be. You just have to go.
Yeah.
Just be like,
all good.
What do you need me to do? We watched a lot of stuff, but it was just continuing, watching some more Black Mirror, watching Ludwig.
Yeah.
But we did watch this really interesting documentary about the Kingdom of Brunei, which is this tiny Muslim kingdom that's part of Malaysia. And it's just one of those weird things that lives outside of existence, They has these weird weddings and, there's all this jungle, and then there's the other tribes that live in the jungle, and then some of them they try and indoctrinate, and some they're like, no, it's just some
wild stuff.
Yeah, it's one of those places where you go as your documentary crew, and then they have like a dude that stands there, and he's like, no, you can't shoot this. It's like that.
All right.
Whenever you do those things, and just like the weirdness, like these big shopping malls that they're walking around, and then but if you drive for 1 hour, you get to Malaysia and it's all like party town because it's like there's no partying, no. And I missed the one part where Shannon says they only have 2 sitcoms and they're done by community theater people. I gotta man, yeah.
What?
Yes.
That sounds terrible.
Yes, it sounds so great. Can you imagine that if you lived in this weird little place and you got to make one of the 2 sitcoms and you were like, here comes
that'd be pretty cool. I would do it if I knew the language.
Tony about town. Here comes Tony.
Imagine if we brought them friends, Dan. They would go crazy for it.
I'm sure they all have it on their phones in secret, but
I think that's how you get murdered.
that is.
I think. I don't know. I didn't watch the documentary.
Tony, we need a movie for next time. Can you pick one? Can you pick one that's as entertaining to talk? See, that's the thing. As painful as this movie was, incredibly entertaining to talk about.
I think I've done it. I think I have no idea.
Tony has broken the code.
I mean, the source material has got to be on the same level because the source material is from George R.R. Martin. And he's supposed to be pretty smart.
That's the king of the Dragon King dude, that guy?
Game of Thrones? Is that what you're trying to come up with here?
This has dragons and Khaleesi and all that stuff.
Khaleesi.
Jason Momoa.
Back when, I really liked him a lot because he was great as Khal Drogo.
But you loved him in the car drive movies.
Yeah, he was great in Fast and Furious because he's just having fun, man. He's just there and he's just fucking shit up. He's wearing fancy clothes and having a great time. It's lovely. The rest of the movie, not as great, but I'm excited to watch the series close out if it ever really does.
So George R.R. Martin did something other than Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I think it's just based on like a short novella he wrote maybe or something. I don't think because it's a story by, yeah. So I think Paul W.S. Anderson.
He's the Resident Evil guy.
He sure is. And so he took one of his favorite leading ladies, Mia Jovovich, and put her in this new movie with Dave Bautista. And it's called In the Lost Lands.
I believe I've watched the trailer for this.
You did?
Yes. Did not. This is a new movie, right? It is a
Yeah, it's brand new. This just came out last week, and I saw it, and I was like, well, I guess we're going to watch that because this looks dumb.
Did you watch the trailer?
Nope. Refused.
It looks like you made it for $200,000.
What did they make it for?
I don't know.
I didn't even check the budget.
But if I'm correct, I believe I watched this trailer and I was just like, who?
Well, I mean, it says the budget's about $55 million, so you're not totally off. Okay. It doesn't even hit the $100 million.
I'm excited about this because I think you were like, oh, you don't know how to use Dave. Dave Bautista, he was in that Knock on the Cabin one. That was great.
Oh, yeah.
What was that?
Knock at the Cabin Door.
You like the terrible zombie Zack Snyder ones.
I don't know what you're describing because you said terrible. So it's definitely not the one that I'm thinking of. I did. I liked that movie. Yeah.
The movie where they had to rotoscope an interesting character into the movie because the movie was so bad.
No, that is not what happened. The guy that they rotoscoped out of it was a sex offender or something.
People, an alleged sex pest. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, real bad. He was a real bad guy, guy. So they got him out of there. Allegedly, of course. I'm not saying I know anything.
But Dave Bautista was in something else that was really good. He's
Stuber.
Stuber. No, Stuber. Did you watch Stuber?
Him and Kumail did like a comedy where Kumail is like a Uber driver and Dave Bautista is like a hitman or something, and he hijacks the car and they go on an adventure.
Did you see it, Stuart?
Oh yeah, I saw it. It's fine. So yeah, it's totally fine. Yeah. It was fun.
He's that guy. He's Vin Diesel back in the day. Vin Diesel was the babysitter and the Tooth Fairy and all those things, or maybe The Rock was the Tooth Fairy. I don't know. Was The Rock the Tooth Fairy? I think The Rock was the Tooth Fairy.
Yeah, Rock's Tooth Fairy, pacifier.
Pacifier. Okay, so in The Lost Lands, Paul Thomas Anderson, Mila Jovovich, one of the most beautiful women on the planet.
Yeah. So let's see how I feel. They give her some sort of weird. I'm looking at a picture. There's some sort of tattoo on the face.
Even better. I love face tattoos.
So one of the reasons I picked this, by the way, is because I did like a quick Google search and somebody was writing a review and basically said that this was a great audition for Dave Bautista to play the gunslinger in Stephen King's new adaptation. I was like, there's no way that's right because I think he'd be terrible at that role. So I got to see this movie.
Oh, okay. That sounds good. So we're going to be doing In the Lost Lands next time. Hope you enjoyed the Spaceman. If you like what we do, give us a comment, a thumbs up, or leave us a message.
You're getting worse. Dude, we're 230 some episodes into this. You shouldn't be getting worse at the sign off.
I mean, I've explained to you that I cannot do the same thing twice. You know that.
Yeah, that's true. That's why you have.
I mean, yeah. Back when we used to do the sketch shows, and I'd have to remember all the lines. If we'd had to do it twice in that night, I probably couldn't have remembered anything if I had to do it twice.
Well, then I'm glad we only did them once per show. That's good.
I always see these people that are doing plays, and I'm like, you do that more than once? No.
Yeah, but you try to find different ways to do it.
No, I understand that. I just don't. I think I'm like, once I use it, it's gone.
It's gone. It's done. We're done. We're moving on.
Yeah, it's like, well, what musicals can you just stand there and do? You could do some musicals, can't you?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I used to do musicals.
But,
you know what I could do right now? I could do a Goofy movie back to back for you right now. So, real side note, by the way, I'm going to go on a little tangent. Todd, friend of the show, Todd sent me a message. Apparently, him and Jason Marsden are friends. Or like know each other. He sent me a picture like from 20, 30 years ago of them like hanging out, and I was like, that's the coolest thing in the world. So Todd's my new hero.
Cool. Oh, that was it. Was he in the?
That's it.
He was in the Goofy movie or something stupid.
Yes, Dan. He's Max in the Goofy. He's the lead in a Goofy movie. Yes.
Wait, isn't Goofy the lead in the Goofy movie?
Goofy's like, he's the dad, but Max is the son, which the story is technically about them both and their relationship. It's a beautiful, you really should see the movie, Dan. Okay, so the next time we talk, I have expected you to have watched the movie.
Is that on like Disney Plus or something?
Yeah, it's on Disney Plus.
Oh, maybe I'll watch it. Okay.
And it's 30 years old, so maybe you should do it. Oh my God.
I like old movies, not old-ish movies.
Just that middle ground, it's just no good.
We'll be back next week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Hey, watch it!